Here is how I made $50,000 in a few hours trading Forex.
Yesterday was actually my biggest ever trading day. You would have seen previously on the channel that I actually made 30,000 in one trade on GBPUSD. You know, I was trading the 200k True Forex Funds funded account. You know, we passed phase one, we passed phase two, and then we made $30,000 profit in that single day of trading. And also in that video, I mentioned I was waiting for account details for a My Forex Funds 300k account. I mentioned that if I got in the same trade on the MFF account, I would have been up like 75k for the day. But when I actually got these account details, I found a perfect setup. You know, we were still in London session. I'd already filmed and sorted out the first video. So I thought I'd do a part two talking about the trade I actually took on the My Forex Funds, which we actually profited around $20,000. So between the two accounts, we actually made around $50,000 within one London session trading yesterday on the 2nd of February. If I actually show you the accounts here, so on the My Forex Funds account, we did actually make 20,000 in that day. And then if I go onto my other account, you guys will be able to see that we also made 30,000 on that account. So between the two accounts, we made $50,000. Obviously, my biggest day prior to this trading session was actually 23,000, which is on another funded account. It might have been, I think it might have been E8 actually, which I've showed previously. And then even when I had that 30k, that was, you know, kind of a record by 7k. And then we ended up making 50k, which obviously is around, you know, 27,000 more than the original. So what I'm going to do now is go through the trading view charts, the analysis, and then go through the dashboard of the True Forex Funds and the My Forex Funds to show you that it's all legit and not just on demo accounts. I mean, technically it is demo accounts, but they actually pay out, so not really complaining. So if we go on GU here, you can see within the past day, if we make it full screen, we've just literally melted. We had FOMC, which caused this push up, and then we also had interest rate decisions. I'm pretty sure it's interest rate decisions for this, you know, wick up. And then we had NFP today, around an hour and a half ago, which caused this massive drop down. I actually entered my sales here, and we had a 10 pip stop loss, and we targeted simply, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this first trade because I've already done a video on it, but this level here, which was just the fill of the imbalance. So we targeted it there, boom. So what happened was we got into the trade at 8. So we set the limit at 8 o'clock, and then we got into the trade, it tagged us in. And within the next few hours, we actually hit the take profit. So within 3 hours, we'd made the original $30,000 on the True Forex Funds account, the 200k account, which is around 15% profit, which is very, very nice. You're probably wondering, it's a 7.5%, you know, risk to reward, 1 to 7.5, and that's because I actually risk 2%. So you guys probably know that I risk 1.5 to 2% using the kind of scaling plan that I have, and I actually entered it with two positions, two 1% positions, meaning that I was risking 2% on this trade. So that 7.5% times 2k would have obviously been 15k profit, but because we risked 2%, we actually made 30,000 on this trade. So we literally just targeted the fill of the imbalance very simply. I did actually also mention that this would have been the, you know, the first target, this level here, where we actually broke out from. So we had this level, then we broke out from this level, and that's when obviously we broke structure. And then once we broke this level, this was a good sign to keep holding the trade. If we kind of wicked into this level and closed, you know, with like a body above, then I would kind of see price going back to the upside. But because we broke and retested this level, that's when I was confident to hold the trade and the price would actually go to the downside. So when we actually had that news release, price actually came up to the entry. I could have just got in again and made another 30k, but once you've made a lot of profit on an account, you know, I was up 15% or whatever it was, it's best to just stop trading and kind of just be happy with the results that you've got, especially as it's a funded account. What you want to do is just make any profit, get a refund, and then we'll get the refund you put in, which is like $900, I think, and then you obviously get your profit split as well, which is nice. Then from then on, it's pretty much all risk free. If you blow the account, you still made profit overall, which is a bonus. We actually got the account details for the My Forex Funds account at around 9.15, so around here. So price had already dropped, around 50 pips. So there's no point getting into a trade here. We could have got a scale in at this point, but it's not really my sort of trading. So when price actually broke this low here, this was when I was looking to actually enter a short. We're still in London session, then we broke this low. You could say we broke this low too with this push down, but I was more looking for this low to be broken. And then if we draw a line across, you guys can see this here closed below this low. Always look for bodies below, not wicks. Wicks, I don't care about wicks. I'm always looking for the bodies. So we closed below. Then when price came back up into this area, this is when I sold here. I sold and I had a 11 pip stop loss. Like that. And my target was this low here for a 1 to 4.8. So on this trade, I got in. I didn't risk 2%. I risked slightly less than 2%. I did not really sure how much it was overall, but obviously 1% is 3,000, and we made 20,000 on this trade, and the risk reward was a 1 to 5. So you guys can do the maths if you want to work that out. So we risked around 4k if you don't want to do the maths. Very, very nice trade though. A lot of the times people would get in maybe too early to this. A lot of people would see, price will wick up like this, try to get in, and then get stopped out by these wicks here. But you kind of just have to realize, okay, if we broke a structure, price is going to come back up. It's like here, when we break structure, you could say this is the structure. Price then had the structure point. We broke the structure there. Price retest in. That's when we get the entries. Like if you're like a support and resistance trader, it's the same sort of thing. You wait for price to break a resistance. You wait for price to break a support, and then retest it as support or resistance. It's kind of like the same sort of thing. People, hate on support and resistance trading, but it works so beautifully all the time. Even here, so you have this level here. What happened? Price had the support, broke, retested as resistance, and then dropped. Simple. Obviously that wasn't the reason I got my entry, but it could have worked. There's multiple ways to get into every trade. There's not a right way to trade. There's not a wrong way to trade. Multiple different ways to get into each individual trade. So if we get rid of these here, you can see that the two trades we actually took on this day were actually very, very nice. If you've seen the previous video, we did actually take a short from here, which I was either like this push up stopped us out or something. But it's, it is what it is. We were just trying to trade based off the FOMC, and we lost a couple percent on the True Forex Funds account. But on this day alone, we made $50,000. If I go onto the analytics now on the dashboards, if we go on the True Forex Funds first, you can see that we're up $25,000 on this account. You guys can see it is the funded account, so it isn't just a challenge or a demo. This is the funded account. If I refresh it, you guys see the same, nothing changes. Max loss, we're nowhere near it. Max daily loss, not really sure how it's that high, but it's what it is. And we had $30,000 on that day. It was minus 5k on that day, but overall in this account we're still up $25,000. Very, very nice. And as you see the trades, 15,000, 15,000. Very, very nice. But you guys have seen that in the previous video. So we're going to show you the My Forex Funds and this account, 12,000 and 8,000. Like I said, I use my scaling plan, which I'll go over in a second. I have the original entry, and then I use a scaling while it's in a loss. A lot of people say not to do this, but it works for me. I don't recommend anyone doing this, but it works for me. I've tried it out loads and it works. So that's why I use it. But we made 8k on the scaling and 12k on the original entry. So we made 20k, which is now the account is at 320,000. Very, very nice. 100% win rate, of course. And it is the funded live. So we obviously did the evaluation, which is the two-phase like challenge process to make 8% and 5%, and then you get the funded stage. And we are up 6.81%. Very, very nice. If I actually show you on the leaderboards, we're actually third. Yesterday we were second, but someone from UAE decided to take the top spot. Big up Danielle. I'm going to be first next profit split. Don't you guys worry about that. We're not going to be third. We can't be third. It's either first or last. That's the thing I kind of live by. First or last. So third doesn't really matter. Not really too worried about that. But if I show you my scaling plan quickly, let's say I enter my original position here. Then price goes up into drawdown. So obviously we've got drawdown here. I will then enter another position. So let's say it's just halfway into drawdown. So 50% into drawdown. I'll enter another position, but I'll enter same stop loss, same take profit with the same risk. So a lot of traders will enter a scale-in and they'll up their lot size. So they'll enter, okay, it's 5.4 pips. This original entry was 30 lots. So then they'd enter 60 lots on this trade. I just think that's completely wrong to do, because firstly, if you lose, then you lose 2%. Whereas the way I do it, if I lost this trade now, I'd only lose 1.5%. Because obviously I'd place 30 lots and then 30 lots. Meaning, obviously, if I get into this trade, I'm going to win 5% obviously. And if I get into this one, I'll make 11%. So you're risking 0.5% extra to make an additional, well, it says it's a 1 to 11, but it's still a 1 to 5. So overall, you're risking 0.5% extra to make 5% extra, if that makes sense. That's why I do it. You know, it's good on challenges too. That's the way I kind of do it. I don't use it on my personal account because I only have 1 to 30 leverage. And if you're risking 1% with, you know, fairly tight stops anyway, it literally doesn't allow you to actually place a trade because, you know, your margin just pretty much doesn't allow you. And with the lower leverage, it's kind of impossible. But that's how I kind of scale into the positions, just by using a couple percent risk, you know, on each trade. I use max 2% risk. I won't use more than 2% risk on a trade, especially with prop firms. You know, you can have slippage, you can have issues with spread and everything. It's just a bit too dangerous. So I always max risk 2%. Ideally, 1%. 0.5% to 1% is very, very nice. But certain situations, obviously different accounts, different rules, you can trade differently, I guess, based on your plan. But if you guys did enjoy this video, and hopefully we can beat this day, maybe we can push for 100k a day. You know, if we entered both trades on both accounts, we would be looking at over 100k in that single trading session, which would have been beautiful, but we didn't get the My Forex Funds account details in time to actually maximize on the GU drop. But I'm very, very happy with 50,000 in a single, well, in about 5 hours of trading. So if you guys did enjoy, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.